Sports Dose episode 3 is happening with new surroundings, mate. Talk to me.
New
What's happening there?
new surroundings, new studios. I've got books behind me to make it look more wholesome. So I had to spice things
What?
up
Have
for
you even
episode
read those
3.
books? Have you even
I
read
have,
those books?
I have. Don't come here. I don't just add books to my book collection without reading them.
You know those guys that stack up books. It's like gifts that you've been given, and it's just look at. Don't you even have a plant? You even have a plant, boy. Photosynthesis.
Come on now, come on now. I'm stepping up my game now. It's December. You need fresh smiles in the house.
I like it a lot. Cooks, mate, congrats. That's first and foremost on the cards.
Thanks,
Always
buddy.
new beginnings and many happy blessings. Boy,
No, awesome.
catch
Thanks,
up,
mate.
D. Talk to me. What's happened this week?
Oh, this week's been good, bro. I must say, it's been obviously last night wasn't great with Chelsea after deciding not to play football again. But yeah, I must say several fairly quiet week my side. I think obviously it's wrapping up for the year now, so nothing big happened this week. I must say it's been relatively quiet. I mean, obviously surviving the Sharks game, and then yeah, just like that year-end fatigue hits, bro. It's getting me now. I got off a plane on Monday after spending the weekend with the family, which was very good. And then, but like I promise you, as I got back, it just hit me like boom, like year-end fatigue. You can see the end. That's the problem. I can see the finish line, ready to put my feet up, ready just to be having aperols from 10 in the morning, reading my books. But
I hear you.
but yeah,
I see.
on my side, all good. And you, big changes I see, big changes on your side as well.
Made a couple of big changes. Yeah, unfortunately, had to say goodbye to schoolboy rugby. Something that's been a part of my life for a really long time. I gave up rugby and then went straight into coaching, so there was never even really a break. But yeah, it's been a good run, mate. A couple of years at Cares and then finished off at Bishops. And there's actually quite a funny story. Before I went to Cares, I actually tried to get into Bishops Cooks. Really funny story because Robbie Fleck was my favorite rugby player, mate. And I
Hmm.
always just wanted to go there, but of course everything happens for a reason. And yeah, mate, on to new ventures. We've got Sports Dose up and running, and then joined the Ike Tigers, and that kicks off nice and early. Preseason's been going well, so yeah, mate, all good from my side. I do, however, want to say that some really good news going forward. Sports Dose, mate. Next week, first up,
Oof.
someone from Joburg.
Our,
Someone.
our first guest,
you,
our first
you,
guest.
you know that left, that right, it's coming in. Mate, we have Kevin Lorena.
That's
And
mad.
mate, it is mad. It is absolutely mad. Obviously, off a fresh win against Gashi, man dominated, did his bit. He's definitely carrying our flag in terms of boxing in South Africa. We have obviously a handful of other boxers, but in terms of heavyweights, it's Kevin Lorena, man. Guys joining us.
No, it's awesome. I can't wait. I mean, we've obviously been trying to find the perfect first guest, and I think, I mean, Kevin Lorena is big time. I mean, what's he, almost ranked in the top 10 now in heavyweights in the world. I mean, he's flying at the moment. So to have him as our first guest, I want to make sure also all my jokes are clean and above belt. Because Kevin stays in Joburg, I stay in Joburg. I don't want to be catching one of
Mate,
those Kevin Lorena. Like you safe. You're gonna get an airplane. Like if you tune in, you're gonna get an airplane to find you. You'll find my circuit.
the guy had Lennox Lewis supporting him. He's got Floyd Mayweather on speed dial. Like, that guy's a dog. Like, if Kevin doesn't pass you, then Floyd comes for you, mate. It's just one of those things. We're going to keep it clean. But yeah, mate, really excited to have
No, very
Kevin next
excited.
week and looking forward to it. Cooks, first up, mate, the mighty Blitz box. The guys
Woo.
have just gone, mate. The guys have just won 5 on the bounce in Dubai. Come on, like who does that? Bar Manchester
We need
City, who win a handful of titles. These
we
guys,
we need shares then to buy. Like we need like the Oaks need like keys to the city, man. Like listen, like if they go to Dubai, they just cause mayhem. I mean, 5 straight now. I mean, there's Oaks in the seventh circuit who don't know what it's like to lose the tournament in Dubai. There's also been over 5 years like we don't know what it's like to lose in Dubai. So I think it was amazing. Just and obviously, I mean, they did have a tough sort of end of the season. Didn't automatically qualify for the Olympics. Eventually got in. You know, a lot of talk. Obviously, the new coaches there, and those things take time. Will change. Obviously, seeing the old guard coming back, guys like Spick Magic coming back, and also I think it's a perfect
And
start. Great
dominating.
momentum and dominate. And I think it's a perfect start for them coming into Cape Town. Would love for them to go back to back wins. Would be the best start for them. I mean, I think obviously we know our Bliss Booker. They've always made us proud. So I'm very excited to see how they go this weekend.
Cooks, let's touch a little bit of base on that. We've won 5 straight, mate, in Dubai. It's always been the opening tournament of the season. And then we come to our home ground. Generally, obviously, last 5 years, we've been favorites. And, mate, the last time we tasted success was 2015. Why is there that speed bump? Is it the expectation? Is it the hype? What is it that's just stopping us from going back to back Dubai, Cape Town? Where do you think it's just going slightly wrong?
No, it's you, Ox, bro. You flipping Capetonians. We want to host everything. That's why. You want to have all the parties there. When they're in PE, I think they're in PE for 4 years. I think they won 3 out of 4 in PE. And one was in the final. They win PE. We were always seeing him. We were seeing him at 8 o'clock Sunday evening. Now you guys come here, Capetonians, want to host everything. Like, I understand. Like, it's maybe Cape is too nice. It's too nice. Mountain is there. It distracts you. See, PE, it's only the boardwalk that's going to distract you. That's the only issue about it. It's the boardwalk in Cubana. You guys look at this arcade, but I mean, I don't think they're going to distract you. But I think
What
it is
a
probably.
man.
But I think it's something that Blitzbok obviously definitely want to address. I mean, they do want to win their home tournament, especially. I just think it's such a great way to start the season. If you can get off to back wins, it just and especially now with the break, and also they go again. I think Feb next year, they will March next year. That's such a great way to be top of the table, sit with 2 wins. I don't know. I think it's tough. Obviously, I mean, sevens is difficult, but I mean, how it is. It's up and down. All it takes, anyone can have a good weekend, and it's very hard to go sort of, especially when it's back to back weeks. It's very hard to go back to back tournaments. So I do think, our boys, it has been a little tough transition when you go from Dubai to Cape Town. But knowing from Philip's name and Coach Steve Noble, Caleb Noble's he's gonna get the odds working this weekend because he knows. Knowing those coaches, they know they would love. I mean, after winning the World Cup, they would love to just add a little bit of more silverware and Blitzbok taking it home.
Mate, I totally agree. Speaking about Sandile Kobo, aka Sticks, mate, you just said, mate, he got in. I'm pretty sure. I'm sure he got injured. Did you see that? That's why he couldn't fly
Yeah.
out. 100%. No
It's kind
excuse.
of
The man was involved.
it's
We don't
statistics with
know. We'll
100%.
find out. The man's involved. So yeah, I mean, it's just really exciting. I was
Good
reading.
man as well. Good man as well. Very good man.
Really good. And also, Danny's Jews, man, has been a part of the
Mm,
system. Obviously, he'd be bleak not to be there this past week, but the players buy in to that.
100%.
65,000 people, Cooks, have already got tickets. And, it's just 2 days of just as you said, Cape Town's too nice, man. People come out here.
Do you know,
It's
do you
like,
know, that's the worst part about the service. I remember when he left PE. I mean, obviously, I'm from PE. When he left PE, also like, guys, don't worry. Like, it'll go to Canada for like 4 years, then it'll come back. I'm like, it's never coming back. Like, it went George, it went PE. Like, you can go to Cape Town and then leave. I'm like, it's gone now. It's there forever. Like, where are they gonna go? Durban maybe next. Like, so from there, going to Potch. Like, like, it's done. But I mean, it's
it can't
amazing.
go back. It can't go. It literally can't go back, and that's the funniest thing. Once it sticks here, mate, it's
No,
now
but it's
here.
gone. It's gone. I'm so sad. I'm just devastated. I'm missing it. I just need to go and see my crush, Stacey Walker. If someone sees Stacey Walker, please tell her my name is Cookie Kutle, Cookie_Kutle. Please tell her to follow me. Oh, my crush. The thing is, it hurts me that my rugby crush, my sports crush, is in the same country that I am. She's a 2 hour flight away from me. That's where she is. Oh,
And and I hope she sees this, and you're not putting in the effort to be here. It's just one of those things. But Cooks, what we can do is we can give a lucky follower, aka subscriber, the opportunity to join me because I will be there and be a part of the little Sports Dose family that we're building. The chance to join us in the hospitality little
ooh.
setup. Now, if you saw the hospitality setup that was happening in Dubai, and now this is Cape Town, I mean, tell me a little bit, Cooks. How can they win these? How can they win this ticket to join me?
It's very simple. As you know, Senna and I have two teams. We disagree on everyone, Liverpool, Chelsea. But there's two teams we both love. One happens to play rugby, one happens to play basketball. So if you let us know which two teams that we both love, you'll find yourself with a ticket to watch the Sevens Sunday final day in the hospitality suite. That's what Dan Carter was last year. I'm just warning you. Just saying. Dan Carter was spotted there on those areas. So if I was you, I would better enter.
Please send the answer on Instagram, on the Sports Dose Instagram page. And yeah, the first people to comment, the first person to comment joins me. Cooks, really excited about the Sevens, but let's move on to a little bit of what's happened in the EPL this week, mate.
Why not La Liga? I'm wearing a Real Madrid shirt. Why not La Liga? Why not La Liga? Talking about La Liga.
I know you don't want to talk about it, but we avid supporters. There is a clear thing happening now with title challenges. Then we have pretenders. Then we have everything. But mate, I have to do this to you. It seems like it's happening every week now. But Chelsea, man, against Manchester United, who are also not performing at the best. So it's like mediocrity competing with each other, and they play each other last night. Mate, I honestly thought that United could have been up by like 3-4 goals within the first couple of minutes. What the stuff is happening at the bridge?
No, mate, I have no idea what's going on. Yeah, it was spilling my water. I have no idea what's going on at the bridge. I mean, the thing is, I was saying this yesterday to my mates. We're so spineless at the moment. Like we're soft. Like that's the thing. It's just we don't have any like just hard oaks. We just grab the game with a scruff of the neck. You look at yesterday's game. You're playing against a side that's. I mean, we've not been United in Old Trafford since 2013, and we haven't been United for I think about 4 or 5 years now as well. Just been draws and losses. But you got a side now. They're on their knees. They're struggling. They can't find momentum, and then we turn them into prime Barcelona last night. That 29 shots on goal yesterday. Like those Oaks couldn't even get like this Newcastle dread. Oaks were struggling to find goals unless Garnacho scoring a bicycle kick or Bruno scoring a screamer. They could not find a goal. But then all of a sudden we rock up there and then they just look like we make them look like flipping prime Barcelona. And all of a sudden Scott McTominay is flipping looking like Paul Scholes at his best. But like we couldn't now can't stop Scott McTominay. I'm like, what is? It's just. But I thought yesterday it just sums up like it was just spineless. But I think it's very harsh to say, but it is like it's just when there's certain games we've had this season where we've sort of had to step up and we haven't. And like yes, we are rebuilding, but we shouldn't be 10th. This is not a squad that should be 10th. And like yesterday, we come back to make it 1-1. Didn't deserve to be 1-1 at all going to the break. Then come back. It's second half, you're thinking, okay, cool. We're gonna come back here. We're gonna dig deep, but then again, soft goal again, and then it's just the goals you conceded yesterday were so soft. I mean, we were trying to play out the back yesterday. I don't know if you're watching Man City clips on the way to the game, but we just kept trying to play from the back of Morgenstone. I'm like, can we just clear the damn ball? So it is frustrating. But listen, for United, I thought it was a good win. I mean, very positive for them. I think they're 3 points behind Man City. Like that's the crazy thing. They've had a few losses this season where like I think it was Brighton or I think Brighton lost, which has hurt them a lot because they're only 3 points behind City now. So while we flipping in the fight for ninth, they're putting themselves into a potential title fight. Those Oaks.
And prime Harry Maguire winning player of the month as well. I mean, that it just says a lot. A big ups to honestly Harry Maguire. But
Big ups to
it
Harry.
just, I was trying to pinpoint it just watching you guys last night, and obviously that whole little thing happened with Casado, with Liverpool putting in a bid, and me as a Liverpool supporter, I legitimately was really happy when I saw that tweet. Here we go, and it was Casado. Liverpool have made 100 million bid for Liverpool, and I was genuinely really excited and I was optimistic, and then the deal falls through. Liverpool end up getting Soboslai. And I'm just watching Chelsea over. I got a soft spot for Chelsea. A lot of my friends support Chelsea, so I do put in the effort to watch you guys. And I was just sitting there and I was like, legit, everything happens for a reason, because someone who's cost 100 bar, I don't think is just he's not giving what he was bought for, first and foremost. And as a Liverpool supporter, mate, you sit back, especially after Liverpool's win against Fulham, where Endo's scoring, McAllister's scoring from the
Yeah.
South American continent, got bangers upon bangers. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, shit, we actually might have dodged a small little bullet there. Is it a case of Chelsea have just done this whole new revamp, but they haven't got the calculations correct? I mean, brought Jackson in big money. There's no out and out goal scorer. Palmer is probably the only guy that is that looks like he's playing, and you can actually see that he definitely comes from the City academy, etc., etc. He's come from the Pep mold. Then you got like the likes of like Thiago Silva, who's having his 50th next week. I just don't think those calculations have been made right. And Cooks, I'm a little bit worried, man. I'm a little bit worried for you guys.
I'm worried too, but I'm worried because, like you said, I mean, Casitas, it's a tough one because he shows glimpses of what he can do. But again, if you're paying 100 million you're not paying him to give you glimpses, right? You're paying him to come in there and be one of the best CDMs in England. And I think he hasn't been. I mean, there's times he's been good. There's times like yesterday, for example, like obviously dominated by Amrabat, showed why Man United signed him, for example, and why they persisted to get him. But again, like you look at the likes of like Mudryk as well, big money. Enzo again yesterday was decent in patches, gave away a penalty. But it's those are the guys that are stepping up for us. It took a kid we got from City who signed for like 40 mil, which is looking like a bargain. Who is actually he's as he's come in, he stepped in and become and sort of been a starter and actually probably arguably one of our best players, him and Sterling. But it's frustrating. But because the thing is, someone like Mudryk and I see Poch, and Poch is a good manager. I see what he's done with Gallagher. He's given Gallagher life, and we really missed Conor Gallagher last night. And I think a lot of Chelsea fans, we never thought we would say it when he's suspended, like we'd miss him, but I thought we really missed him last night. Like it's guys like Mudryk, they're just not kicking on. Like Enzo, I'm waiting for him to make the next step. Yes, he's been good. You can see the quality, but now you're making him like, okay, cool, now it's time to become. That's the next step. And he is, and like Enzo, don't worry because Enzo's a baller. I think obviously now Caicedo does make me worry. I think Thiago Silva makes me worry. Like for the Nicholas Jackson thing, I mean, we tweeted it. Well, I tweeted one guy another week. The striker market was so bare in the summer. It was very hard to find a striker, and unfortunately now we settle with someone like Nicholas Jackson who's raw. Absolutely scored 9 goals for Villa last season, but he's young, but he's raw. But the problem is he misses big chances. Chances where you need a Harry Kane to score. A chance where you need like someone like Salah would score. Someone like you know what I mean, like a Haaland will score some of those chances. Yeah, he's with a few, but there's certain chances they just score where it's almost like Jackson feels like he needs like 3 chances, then he'll score. Like you won't score the first chance you get. Like he's gonna miss, and you're like, but you're playing against Man United. You might not get 3 chances. You might just get one. And now the problem is now is no, the problem is like last season, like we didn't fix our goal issue. But guess what? We're still gonna address it again in January. And I know Todd Bowley, you're gonna buy 15 players again, go back to square one. Like we have to get experienced players in. Like I get this whole project about getting the youth in, but we need some sort of experience. Could we just get like 26-year-olds in the team, 27-year-olds, established Premier League players, established like European players, like not just always 15-year-old wonder kids from Brazil. Like great, but
No, I agree, man.
it's not going to mean anything when you get relegated in 6 years' time because you can't flip and get back in Europe to get some money for all the flipping death row contracts you made players sign. So as much as Todd Bowley wants to black build, in the day, if we don't get back in the Champions League very soon, in the next 2 years, FFP is going to get us because it's like us. We stretch all this contract because we're thinking revenue is going to come back, and so it's like yeah, it's great to build, and we are building. I'm happy to build, but you can also add some sort of experience because watch Thiago Silva, we're going to replace him now at the end of the season. I'm sorry, he's playing well, but he's 39. Thank you for your services, but it's been amazing 3 years. Centre back. We need another striker. Oh man, our problems are many. Our problems are many.
Too many, and it does lead me on to my last question. I don't want to dwell too much on Chelsea because I mean as I said, I've got a soft spot for them. Uh, Expectations now. Last night, if you win that game, it obviously brings you within touching distance of the top four, but you lose it. And now, I'm not mistaken, you're 19 points. I think you're 19,
Yeah,
and it's
no,
just
I think
what
top
as a
four is
support.
out.
What is the I, mate? Especially, I mean, we're going to touch base with a team like Aston Villa. I mean, those guys are playing football. I mean, what a win last night, Cooks. Though Aston Villa are all of a sudden doing something there with Watkins and the boys. And if you watch the game, mate, they dominated City. They didn't just like win by fluke. They literally dominated. Mate, I read a stat. City had 2 shots on target. Like,
I
what
know.
is this? Is
That's
this now?
crazy.
I've got my own little opinion about this, but I'd love to hear yours. Mate, City have gone from winning the treble to obviously winning many trophies. You know, they've just won everything. Then they win the treble. How hard is it for those guys under Pep, but they do have an unlimited 115 charges against them, budget, etc., to go again the next year, knowing that the pressure's always on them. And then you guys have teams like Aston Villa, mate, who have a little squad. It's not the most talented,
Mm.
but there's definitely something there. Now City have to go again. Last night, was it an indication, mate, that maybe City are not in that title race as much as we think? Or is it just a little blip? They've
You
4 games
know what?
without.
There's one team in England I do not back. I mean, I don't. I'll never lose faith in is Man City. For some reason, if you look at previous title run, look at last season as well. They were about 10 points behind Arsenal during this time last season. City doesn't tend to play well during this time of the year. It's a weird thing. They tend to do lose form at this time of the year, and it's
They
always
picked the right
like I always
moment.
said, like I just think like sometimes they're becoming a little bit of slow starters. They get out the gates a bit slow, and obviously I think listen they've had a tough run. I mean they've gone Chelsea, Spurs. I mean Chelsea, Spurs, Liverpool, and then Villa, and then so listen, it's a tough run, and obviously I think Pep's obviously frustrated that the Chelsea game he didn't leave with the win. You'll be frustrated like even the Liverpool game. You know, felt oh geez that goal in probably one of our best, but we should have actually closed it out and gotten the 1-0. The Spurs game, he's probably going, how the hell do we not win that? So it's one of those things where those fine margins, and also the Villa game that you got dominated. So my thing with Man City is that it's one of those things where I think there's a lot going on. Obviously, you can tell Pep is tense. There's pressure on his hooks, and there's a lot going on. He's going at the crowd. There's his charges,
Fighting with
but
Jimmy Carragher.
no, exactly. Fighting with Jamie Carragher. But one thing I do know, but those hooks, come February, once they can see the trophies and what they're playing for, Champions League's coming up, FA Cup, and then like the Premier League. The thing is with I think with you guys, Arsenal, like Villa, you gotta make sure, you gotta hope that they sort of get themselves out of contention in December. Like you guys, like when you guys won the league, sort of you just blew everyone out the water. So, but you just can't have Man City being in the 6 point, but they were 9 points behind us at the stage last season. You don't want them that don't have 6 points clear because you know those boys are winning. There's gonna come a time where they win 12 straight, and that 12 straight they're gonna run through the teams that they're chasing with. So I do have faith. I think my thing in the city, I always like give them the benefit of the doubt because of, I mean, they've won three Premier League titles in a row. They're coming from a treble. They've got Pep Guardiola. So I always give them the benefit of the doubt, and I do think there's a lot going on. Like you can tell, like it's just tense there, and it's just tense. And they come up against a good Villa side who's won 15 straight now at home, and then. But the thing is, also, guess who comes back next year? Kevin De Bruyne. That's a massive deal. He's going to feel like a new signing. But yeah, I always give Man City the benefit of the doubt. It's weird. Like Man City is, they're 6 points behind Arsenal. I think 4 points, 3 points behind you. I still trust them still the most to win the league. Like even though they're 6 points behind, I'm like, if I put Man City right now, I'm like, I'm still think they're going to win the league. I've just seen them do it too many times. Maybe it's one time too many now, but I've seen them do it too many times. You've seen it firsthand. Arsenal fans have seen it firsthand. But what do you think is going on in City?
I think that for the first time in, I would say, as I said, mate, the title race over the last 5, 6 years has been two sides. It's been Manchester City and Liverpool. Um, it could very easy be 3-3 in Premier League titles. It could very easily be,
100%.
bar a couple of centimeters, bar a Vincent Company wonder strike against Leicester. It could literally be 3-3. Mate, I think about that probably daily, that moment, because that's one in a million. But I think now for the first time, mate, that there is serious pressure. First and foremost, Manchester City this year can't win without Rodri. They can't do it. It's one of those things. That's all that where they look tense. They tense because they don't see Rodri on the training pitch because he can't play. Whether he's suspended or injured, mate, there is something happening. Then what's happening is they moving John Stones into his position. Now, yes, John Stones is a talented footballer. He just doesn't have that Rodri-esque about him, if that makes sense. He's still got that defender's mentality. So what is currently happening now for the first time, as I said, in 6 years, mate, it's not just Liverpool competing for the title. There is Arsenal, and we have to give Arsenal big credit for what Arteta's done. Mate, and Arteta has learned from the best. He's learned from Pep Guardiola, who's done it. Now, as you spoke about last year, Arsenal were 8-10 points ahead at Christmas. They were doing their thing, but a very inexperienced side. Mate, Saka was a baby. That team was still finding themselves. Mate, guaranteed those guys have learned from last year on how to deal with this pressure. Having said that, they do go Villa on the weekend away. Then they've got Brighton at home. And then, mate, they've got Liverpool at Anfield. Please tell me if you ever remember a couple of seasons ago when Arteta took over, mate, and he put the big speakers in the training ground and he was blasting, "You'll never walk alone."
So 100%. No, I remember that. I love that. But I agree with you. I think the title race, I mean, I think it's massive, obviously. Listen, Villa's in that mix as well. I mean, Emery's got them cooking. But I do think the title race is going to go down. It looks like it's going to go down because how teams handle that heavy run of fixtures. Obviously, City has gotten 3 points out of 4 games. Not ideal. Arsenal's now going to the same boat. They're going to go Villa, Brighton, Liverpool. They have to, I think, need to get out of there with 7 points. 2 wins against Villa, Brighton. I think for them, leaving Anfield with a draw, take it, shake hands, go. So I think that's a big one. I think, and you guys as well. You also, because when you go, I think you got who you play next. But you got Arsenal and United very close to each other in back-to-back fixtures. Yeah. So and that is
Crystal Palace, United, and then Arsenal.
So I mean, it is a tough one as of for you guys as you get through. And I know obviously, you guys tend to bully United at home, but it's still a derby. It's still anything can happen in the derby. And you saw Jurgen Klopp last night going off at the reporter for making a joke about the early kickoff. Klopp is relaxed, but why so like
all around that pressure, man?
I was saying to him like Klopp is normally like jokes. Shame, decent joke. And no, so he ignorant and no respect. I'm like, oh no, Klopp needs to just woo, sir.
But he's there, mate. He's living in the moment. I get it, and I can promise you, most of that stress, Cooks, I'm being dead serious when I'm being dead serious what I'm about to say. Most of Jurgen Klopp's stress, mate, is not the title. It's not reporters asking simple questions. Most of his stress, mate, it's on one man, and that one man is Darwin Núñez. That is where all Jurgen Klopp's stress comes from. Mate, the guy is literally uncontrollable. He does the wildest things. He always hitting the woodwork. I mean, I saw another stat this week. Darwin's hit the post the most amount of times out of any player across all the leagues. So, and then, I don't know if you saw this, mate. Darwin, after the Manchester City game, he wants to go after Pep Guardiola. After last night's game, wait, there's another funny thing. After the winner against Fulham, I don't know if you saw that clip of Trent scoring the winner, then running to the corner, and there's like 6 guys running behind him. Mate, Darwin going in the opposite direction. So literally, he's running in the opposite direction. So Jurgen Klopp's there, and he's like, mate, where's this guy running to? What's he going to do next? Yesterday, Liverpool get a win, obviously, against Sheffield, which is a massive win. Jeepers, if you've ever been to Sheffield, it's a tough place to go in like -3 degree weather. But at the end of the game, mate, Darwin's blowing kisses at the crowd, not to the Liverpool supporters, to the opposition. He's blowing kisses. That is most of his stress. But yeah, mate, I personally think if Liverpool have a chance to win the league, which we obviously do, we've got the experience, we've got the
Mm,
players performing. If Liverpool win the league, Darwin needs to bang. And if Darwin doesn't at least take a handful of his chances, mate, I've
yeah.
got to then just be honest and say, I think Arsenal take the league. Mate, at one stage when I was watching Arsenal against Luton, it genuinely looked like they were playing in fast forward. So they were moving that ball so quickly. And yeah, mate, it's a really exciting Premier League season, mate. And I can't wait for this festive period.
No, 100%. I agree with you. I think it's definitely one of the more could be one of the most entertaining runs in a long time. I think I mean title runs, yeah, because you look at Arsenal, I think they're a lot more compact than they were last season. I think obviously teams play them differently now. It looks like, I mean, at the start of teams almost like figuring them out, but and obviously teams now drop a lot deeper against Arsenal, and Arsenal finding ways to win, which is amazing. Is how consistent they be on finding ways to win, because it is winning is a tough thing to do week in, week out, and getting in that habit of dominating it. And Arsenal's now in that patch of they're just so used to winning, and the momentum's there. And I think for them, obviously, those lessons learned last season, and I do think my only worry with Arsenal is there's been certain games this season where yes they've found a way to win, they've found something, but I don't want that dip of form for them to come like last season when it matters most, where like sometimes with Arsenal it feels like oh it's always scrappy. They're playing well, they're up 2-0, okay cool, cruise mode, concede 2-1. Now they're fighting again. Now it's like oh they're not pretty. Luton. Now you're scrambling because David Raya again forgets how to make saves, which I think that could be a big problem for them going into the future. I'm worried that David Raya will make a big mistake for them in a big game to cost them. But I do think the way they're going at the moment is incredible. I mean, Kai Havertz is obviously scoring goals now. I just want to say to Arsenal fans, stop tagging me in this Kai Havertz thing. Welcome to the Kai Havertz roller coaster. You also so pissed off at him for 2 months. Now he scores 3 games in 4 games. Now he like 2 goals in 4 games. Ah, Chelsea got it wrong. Oh, Teta's finally fixed him. I just can't wait in January again when you start scoring goals. That guy does this, but then what he'll do is you score in the cup final. Then you forget. You're like, oh, I love Kai Havertz. Like he's the most open. Like also fans of it's like, no, well, we finally fixed him. It's time for you to send apologies. Apologies what? I know this guy's real life. Senna, I know he's real. I saw it I saw him in 4K
Yes, time.
for 4 years. For 4 years, I saw him in 4K. I know this guy's real life. Great for 1 month, then just vanishes again for 2, then great again for a month. But I still
So
think he's a goal
speaking
scorer.
Sorry, Cook. Speaking of Kai, his thing, and obviously joining Arsenal, etc., etc. Declan Rice gets there as well, and it seems like Declan Rice, mate, is carrying himself. Out of all the signings, is
Oof.
Declan Rice the best signing? And I remember, mate, when he signed, I'll be the first to admit and said, 100 over 100 bar for Declan Rice. No, and then a couple of guys said he's the best defensive midfielder in the Prem. Then I was like, yeah, but 100 bar, it's a lot. Is he the best signing, or could we throw a couple of other names in there?
Yeah, there's a few other names in there. I mean, like someone like Shoba Slar has been obviously unbelievable since he's rocked up. He's been a very good signing. I look at Declan Rice. I think they got it right. I think about 100 million. Not one time has his price tag been mentioned in terms of his game. He's stepped in that Arsenal side, become one of the most important players already. My biggest thing that I've loved about him is something we didn't get to see much at West Ham was how good he is with the ball in his feet. He's such
Yeah.
technically he's very good. And something obviously at West Ham is mostly defending. So that's what I loved about him now. Technically, how good he is, and he's actually getting forward a lot more. And like against Luton, gets a goal, and that's a part of his game because he used to be a natural number 8 first, and then obviously sort of dropped a bit deeper. So that's why I love when you play with Thomas Partey, someone like a Thomas Partey there, because then you can actually get forward a little bit more, has the legs to go box to box, can also obviously can also just sit and you can have Odegaard and sort of have it next in front of him. So I think he's been the absolute dream signing, a position they've needed to fill for a long time. Obviously, having lost Xhaka as well. But I do think he's been an absolute revelation. Probably the signing of the summer. Probably the signing of. The signing of the summer, in all Europe is probably Jude Bellingham. But I mean, like,
Yeah,
but
of course
Declan
it's
Rice
true.
is.
Of course it's
But I mean,
of course it's true.
but I mean, like, I do think that Declan Rice in the Premier League has probably been the signing of the season. I mean, he's been absolutely sensational. He's made a title competing side even stronger. Sort of just boosted them in. Oh no, he's been great to watch.
Well, that's what just to finish off. That's what worries me a little bit about Arsenal. Is that if you just look through the years, including when Liverpool won the league, mate, a really important position on that football field is a defensive midfielder, man. And I know, I mean, throughout everyone that's won a Premier League title has a great defensive midfielder, and you
Yeah,
can go through it. Unfortunately, Liverpool doesn't have that, mate. I know we got Endo, and Endo's now finding his feet, but mate, the
I
guy's
still think you
not.
need one. I still think you
We
need one in
do,
Jan.
we do.
I think Jan is. I definitely still think you need someone in Jan. Like, I think like maybe to find someone. Look at like United for example. Like find someone like Amrabat. I think something like that for me I thought would have been good in Liverpool. Someone like that where a cheeky little 40 million or 30 million. Someone experienced like 28, 29, just comes in like not like someone like Indo. You can obviously groom in and sort of get him in there, but. I do think you also need a defensive midfielder. Obviously, I see my tip now. It's got an ACL, which is a big loss
Yeah,
towards ACL, which is a big loss. I think, yeah, I mean, injuries obviously is going to play a massive run in this running. I mean, this is going to be an incredible festive period. I mean, there's going to we're gonna feast. I mean, the games we've got coming up now. This who knows what happens come Jan or where we stand because, but I mean, there's something stupid like there's almost football almost every day now until New Year's. There's just constant Premier League football happening now, which is amazing.
mate, it really is. And it talking of sport this festive period, Cooks, we got to touch base with mate. The Champions Cup starts this weekend.
Woo!
The Champions League of Rugby. We got the
Best
back-to-back
competition,
champ La
best
Rochelle.
competition in the world.
We've got the Holly. We've got the Shark. I mean, the Sale Sharks. We've just got a handful of teams. The Stormers. We've got La Rochelle next weekend, mate. This is what we've been looking forward to. We want this as rugby lovers. This is the tournament. We've seen the Stormers win the URC. I think the next goal is
Yeah.
obviously the Champions Cup, mates. Talk to me. What are you looking forward to the most? Some of the teams. What's just the general vibe around the Champions Cup circles?
I'm very excited. I mean, like I said, it's the greatest rugby competition in the world, and it's just so great that we are part of it. I think obviously for us moving into Europe, this was what sealed the deal for me because obviously it was like, okay, if we're just gonna play URC, it's great, but like then we gonna miss playing the New Zealand side, sort of week in week out. But now moving to Europe and then being added in the Champions Cup, we're playing in the best club competition in the world. We're playing against some of the best club sides in the world. I mean, Leicester this weekend, the Stormers got Leicester this weekend. I know obviously they're sending probably a weekend, I don't say weekend, but they're not sending their full squad. Obviously, talking La Rochelle next week. But you got La Rochelle coming to Cape Town. We've got Saracens Bulls this weekend. On Farrell and the boys are here. I mean, that's like what a 2-3 time European Cup winner. Saracens, one of the royalty of European rugby down in South Africa, playing against the Bulls. That's what we want to see as fans. That's what we signed up for, to be involved, to play against the best sides in the world, play against the Toulouse, play against Toulon, we want to play against the Munsters in this competition. You play Munster University, but you want to play against what you call it, like La Rochelle. You want to chase against Racing and start like that's you. That's where you want to be. So I'm very very excited about it this weekend. I mean, we've got I think tomorrow, I mean Saturday, cup final rematch, La Rochelle, Leinster, Shark Needover, taking over. Shark Needover's there to do one thing, but and that's won the last game of the season. Leinster's lost a few couple finals, and they know, hey, it's been two it's been 2 seasons of a drought here. So we're gonna bring in the one guy who knows how to win finals. Jacques Nino says so that's gonna be epic. I mean, there's some massive games this weekend. I mean, like it's gonna be great. I mean, obviously to have obviously the Stormers and Bulls involved is incredible. The Bulls are absolutely cooking at the moment. That's gonna be the sneakiest for me. Games of the tournament, that Bulls Saracens game up in Highveld, Pretoria. I just hope the fans show out. I mean, that's closest you'll get to a test match until June.
I totally agree, Cooks. Let's touch base a little bit with the Bulls, mate. They obviously had an emphatic win against the Sharks, and I mean the Sharks. The hopes were high. Last week you were saying that we're going to just pip and climb and everything like that. But is there currently a better loose trio than what the
Oof.
Bulls have? Now, when I say loose trio, I can literally talk about 6, 7, 8, or I can talk about 11, 14, 15. And we've got, mate, just touching base on that Sharks Bulls game, and we're obviously going to chat about a little bit about the Bulls. Mate, the Sharks were outplayed pretty much in every department. The Bulls legitimately made a couple of the groot manne in that Sharks side not look like groot manne. And yeah, that Cameron Hanekom, mate, the man is special.
Oh, geez, he's playing some very good rugby, and he's always doing something the next week. Like it'll be like, oh, Cameron Ocom is a good ball carrier. I want to see how good he is defensively. Next week he'll put up like 15 tackles. Now it's like Cameron Hanekom. I wonder if he can. I wonder how good his hands. Now he's putting out into space. After I'm like, oh come on, like what more do you want from this offloading? He's popping off the ground. He's carrying. No, he's been an absolute revelation. And I think for me, the biggest thing about Cameron Hanekom is the fact he's allowed Eric Lowe to play at 7. I still think blindside is his best position. So Eric Lowe back at 7. Then obviously now there's Marcel Coetzee at 6. So like their depth is they depth. I mean
Van
like Marcel Coetzee
Staden
and
is
Marco
there.
van Staden. It's like that's who you, that's when because obviously Coetzee was suspended on the weekend. If there's no Coetzee, it's van Staden. You can come on. Like you're not resting. And like I think the Bulls have signed very, very well. I think that's the
Oh,
big
that's
thing.
my next point, man.
I think Jack White mentioned in his post match interview that last season he sort of used the same players quite often and sort of ran them into the ground and sort of at the end of the season you could feel it was now because they've signed well, Volkolo, Akafana management. They've got so many hookers now and props that were looking good, were just ready to go. Kara Steenkamp is you can tell what that Bob Cap did to him because now he's a different type of player now coming back with the Bulls. But then now you look at the side, you look at Villy. But like my thing is like you look
Well,
at
that's
guys
the
like
biggest guy, mate. That's the biggest guy.
yeah.
Seriously,
But
Cook.
even someone like Vinny's amazing, but like you look at the guys like Sebastian de Klerk off the bench. You look at someone like
Yeah,
Devin Williams been sacked, Sergio Peterson's back. So they've managed to keep there's quality depth as well. So you can rest a Willie, move Cody into the 15, play Serge, you play Sebastian de Klerk, rest Moody, take off Quirson, you have Jacob van der Walt, Scottish International. So, you know what I mean? So it's like they found ways to plug in right at the right places where like even Jake said, there was no Ron McKee on the weekend. There was no Marcel
yeah,
Coetzee. Still, okay,
yeah,
next man up. So I think they're in a good place to compete for both competitions. Because my thing, especially in the Champions Cup, to go deep, you need depth. Because I mean, you're
yeah.
playing against some of the best in the world, and also most importantly, one thing with the Champions Cup, you have to win your home games. Those
Yes.
that's imperative in European in the Champions Cup is you have to because you're not beating La Rochelle at home. You're not beating Toulouse at home. Those
No.
first things like they don't lose home game. I don't often Lens loses the RDS, especially so this is the community when the Bulls have to make Lotus a fortress again, and I think they can, especially with the side.
You know, like as we just said, mate, you don't really truly understand Villy's input. No, we know he's a talented rugby player, but mate, the way that guy talks to the ref, the way his rugby IQ is, it's disgusting, Cooks. His rugby IQ, they obviously call him Mr. Assist. Like the guy is a
Yeah,
try assisting, but he's now taking all those youngsters that you could see there's potential and he's taking those backs, he's taking all of those guys, and then obviously it's mate, Johan Goosen's got so much talent as well, and he's got
the
experience.
goose is
Now you've
loose.
got
The goose is
the
loose.
goose is loose. The goose is loose. The goose is loose. And you've just got that spine, mate. And to me, it was black and white, the difference between what the Bulls have and what the Sharks have. And this is my issue currently with the Sharks right now, mate. They've got this very wealthy owners. They've got a Lamborghini backline, and they've got I don't even know what to say with the forwards, mate, because the tight five is seriously, seriously struggling, even when you add in Eben to that. And then, mate,
I
I
mean,
just think there's a bit of imbalance there with the loose chair. It's just my opinion, mate.
yeah, it's a bit of a hard one. I mean, the Sharks thing, like I said, it's gonna take time, but I mean, that's the thing. It's. I thought the first 20 minutes of the game was very evenly matched. I thought the Sharks sort of the bats were electric. I thought the Sharks lost that game in that second 20 minutes when they conceded those three tries. Just soft moments, got punished by a very good bull side, which is what good sides do, right? And I think also Sharks, there might be a lack of confidence of not obviously just being a little bit of a rat. And that does come to fore. But maybe I'm just sound like a bad fan. But I see a glimmer of light. But truth, I see I'm like, okay, there's something there. It's gonna take time. This is not a one season turnaround job. And I think it's like there's a few guys there. There's a few like I feel bad for Plum because sometimes like you fix the attack this week, then it's not. Then the lineup doesn't function this week. Then you deal the lineup. The lineup's fine. Then the attack. Then the attacks are working. Then it's the defense. It's like you have an old car. You fix the spark plugs. Nope. Then it's the tire. You fix the tire. No, it's like it's something else. Like you fix one thing, it opens up another hole. So I think that's where the Sharks are at the moment, and it is going to take time. And that's the reality of it. I think for me, the Sharks. I think for me, I'd love to see them doing well in the Challenge Cup, almost win it,
Yes.
just to bring back sort of boom, bring a trophy back home, bring some morale, big morale. Let this plan go into fruition. 'Cause I still think the Sharks will make the playoffs in the URC. They have potential to make a run, but it's that like I just need a little bit of confidence to come in. You go up against Bulls side. You can see. I mean, John Pumphrey said like sort of the Bulls showed where the two sides are because the Bulls sort of stepped it up in the last 20 minutes. Sharks made so many mistakes like can't concede two tries 5 minutes before halftime. Like you can't just like it's game over. And did well to fight back second half, but again, you just again last 20 minutes again sort of folded away. But I do think they'll bounce back, and hopefully the Challenge Cup they do actually. I really hope they win it, just to bring a trophy back and sort of like United win the Carabao Cup last year, just to have a trophy, good for the placement. But this weekend is a big one. Selassie Stormers obviously up to Leicester. I mean, obviously we wanted to see Ness versus Jasper, Paula versus
Oh,
Marnie.
oh.
It doesn't look like we're gonna get that, but. How crazy is this? That I think Stormers what would this be? The eighth or ninth game of the season? So, and they still have not played a game at the DHL Stadium, the official home stadium. Still have so next week will be their first proper home game for the year.
No, mate, Cooks, it's massive. Having said that, I mean, it has been. I've spoken to a couple of guys who have gone out to Stellies and obviously had fun out there. But yeah, they want to come home. But yeah, Cooks, the Stormers unfortunately are in a little bit of trouble, mate. And basically, what is happening is against Zebra this weekend. I picked it up from the get go. First and foremost. Mate, Marvin Ori is such a massive loss to the Stormers. It's one of those guys where it's legit. You don't understand what he brought to the Stormers until he's gone. So,
Mm,
no, he wasn't a superstar, but mate, the man won lineouts. And now I'm not. Uh, Andre Smith, Ruben van Heerden, they do their job. Don't get me wrong. But unfortunately, a lot of the Stormers' attack is based off
mm.
obviously set piece. And mate, our attacking lineouts, we are struggling. So basically, what's happening is all teams are now offering us the front of the lineout, and even to that, we can't even hit the front of the lineout. Sometimes we overthrow two ball, which happens. But basically, what's happening is we bring Damien Willemse in on the weekend at 12. We throw to front ball, and what's happening is we're having to set it up with Damien close to the 15. Now, mate, you know this, I know this.
Yeah.
Damien is a absolutely electrifying rugby player, and he is a very good ball carrier. But you don't actually want Damien being the ball carrier. You want him to be that spark, stepping people, running
Especially
at
within the
people.
15, especially inside the 15.
100%. So our issues are stemming from legitimately just the lineouts, and teams are now purposefully looking to give us lineouts because we're struggling with it. And even with that, I mean, look at one of the tries that we scored on the weekend where we actually win. I think we won the middle of the lineout, and then we decide to bring our left wing into the attacking backline, and that just created that extra spark. But now you can only do that so many times. I think this
Yeah.
happened like 6 or 7 times on Saturday, where Damien comes in to set it up, and then we're bringing our forwards around because we are playing a 1-3-3-1 formation. For you guys that don't know what that means, one forward, 3-3 in the middle. Basically, what's happening is that because we know the rugby of offloads at the Stormers, you want to offload, you want to keep that game, mate. We're just not in sync with each other. So every time we try do it, there's a knock on or something's not happening. And that's what I'm hoping we can fix. This weekend, I know that we're probably sending, as you said, our B side, but going to La Rochelle, that's something that I'm hoping we can fix, man.
I definitely think so. I don't worry about the Stormers, especially in attack, because I think it is probably. Remember, there's guys. I mean, like you're looking at you. Mane comes back, Damien comes back. Obviously, I mean, Philander's back. So you are bringing in two cogs of your backline that haven't been there since the
Mm,
start of the season, and also with Damien and Mane, you play a different brand of rugby. A different. It's two from a Mane and Jean Duplessis are two different type of players. You, you
yes,
can have the same system, but they'll run it
yes,
differently. It's just the
yes,
way it is. You look at it like Sasha and Damien are probably similar, but Damien is probably say, a bit bigger, happy to bash it up a little bit more, but he's different from having Sasha there at 12. So I do
of
think
course,
it's going to be a bit of a transition. It's just guys getting back in sync. You look at someone like oh, I was watching the game in the weekend, and Dobbo even said like he said like it was a tough game because it wasn't a good spectacle. Yes, the Stormers still scored some good tries, but it's funny. But again, it's Stormers are at a place where th- they can win games like that and still get a bonus point,
of
even though
course,
they're not at the races. And the thing is, the Stormers is they're not looking to peak in the first week of December. They're thinking May, they're thinking April. They want to go deep, and now the box of they're available almost every week. And I think I know they're going to break sometimes. I think coming up in about probably Feb, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But
correct,
other
yes,
than that, they're available week in, week out. There's no camps in January. They're going to attend. So they know once Damien and Marley and Dion and all these folks, while they're getting up to speed, they're going to get back to their best. And I think they're happy to obviously get that win, be at home, and also they get to play at home. That's the big thing for me is they're very good at home. So
yes. The
it's
faith
all
will
those
come out,
teams
mate. The
the faith
faith
is going
will
to come
come
out.
out
So
in the
I'm
time.
I'm I'm definitely not too worried about the Stormers. But so I think they will be fine. But listen, we could go on all day about the Stormers and the Sharks, and you know you are. But before we wrap up, I've got to ask you this weekend, Champions Cup wise, which game are you looking forward to the most?
I obviously, mate, the Stormers first and foremost. But Cooks, I was just having a look here, and it's maybe something that the Bulls Saracens game is
Oof.
hands down. That's just a cracking game, mate. I would love. I haven't seen what the bookies have said. I know the Bulls will be favorite, but Saracens have are Saracens, as you said. And then, mate, the we can't miss La Rochelle against Leinster. That is an absolute
Oh,
cracking game. And then Cooks, Racing, uh, collision up against Harlequins at home. We've got Toulouse, Cardiff, Toulon, Exeter. Mate, we've got games, but I'm going to go with La Rochelle Leinster. I have to. I've got to back my boy Raymond Rule and Dylan Lates there. I've got to see those guys. I genuinely, if the Stormers, honest chat here, if the Stormers don't win it this year, I want those guys to go back to back to back, three-peat. I need to see pictures of
oh,
Dylan Lates and those guys doing this.
that'll
And you
be.
could,
And
who you looking forward to the most? I see obviously, it's not. I see the sales Sharks, and for one moment, I thought it was your Sharks, but we,
No, no,
they in the
yeah,
Europa League.
you knew exactly what you're doing there. You knew exactly. We know we're not there. But I have to say Cardiff. I mean, actually Cardiff to lose. Sorry, I don't know. I've Cardiff in my head. Cardiff's gonna get absolutely trumped this weekend. Shame. They're like the one token Welsh side that's been thrown in the mix. Like we have to have one. Is like good luck against Toulouse. I have to go Saracens Bulls. I think obviously I mean it's Bulls are in a good form. Saracens are playing well. Farrell's fit. Atoja is down. Alex Good is down. Marco's down. Billy Apollo's. The band is here. The band
The
is here.
band is here.
So like that's what excites me. It's and I think I'm just saying it from a South African fan point of view is this is what we dreamed of when we wanted to have the Champions Cup to have the best some of the best players in the world here, the best teams in the world here, and the Bulls are flying, Saracens are flying. It's but there's gonna be hits this weekend. There's gonna be carries. It's gonna be test match.
He,
It's gonna be as
he.
like I said, it's gonna be as close to test match rugby you will get because there's a lot of internationals there, a lot of English internationals. I mean, Saracens is stacked with international. You don't get in the Saracens team if you don't have an international cap. You don't get in that team if you don't have an international cap. And like Bulls, obviously stacked. Love to see. I'd love to see Carolina go up against big Vunipola. Yes, I know Billy. I mean, it's sort of over 50 capped England English international. So next test for Cameron Hanekom. But I mean, oof, it's going to be. I think it's going to be an absolute cracker. That the Bulls, I think, also. Actually, no, I think Saracens might edge
Bold
it, but I don't
prediction.
know. I think
What?
Saracens might
Okay,
edge it.
yes.
I'm going.
Okay,
I'm going
yes.
with Champions.
Bold prediction.
I'm going
Yeah,
with
okay.
Champions Cup heritage. I'm going Champions Cup heritage. Sorry,
I'm
sorry,
going.
Bulls guys.
Yes,
Sorry, Serge.
so sad. Here's my bold prediction for the weekend. If we do want to do a bold prediction, mate, I am saying that the Bulls give Saracens 15, 15 and
Woo,
above. That's my bold prediction for the weekend,
that's
and
big.
I'm basing it on the boys in the high felt obviously playing, and just from what I've seen from the Bulls, I genuinely think they
No, I
have
love
the
that.
best depth, the best everything. Yeah, that's my bold prediction for the week. And then the second bold prediction goes in the EPL where, well, it's not really a bold prediction, but mate, I just think Villa have something going on. Hey, I will
Woo,
not be surprised if
yeah, they
Villa
beat
get,
Arsenal.
yeah, if they get a result there, just from what I've seen. Any bold prediction from your side?
Chelsea might actually win a game. That's my one. We're gonna win a game. That's the one.
That's a
We're gonna
bold
we're gonna beat
prediction.
we're gonna beat Everton. We're gonna play well. We're gonna win like 3-0. That is we're gonna have no just we're gonna have a nice, clean, good performance. That's my bold prediction. No drama, no red cards, no win last minute. A nice, clean, good 3-0 win.
And then to wrap it up, please do not forget about the Sports Dose competition. One hospitality ticket, guys. Those tickets are valued at 3,500 rand. Everything comes with it. You can have beer, you can have food, you can have snacks. It's all there, cooks, and you get to spend it with the Sports Dose family. So please share who Cooks and I absolutely love. Two sports sides that we absolutely love. One is rugby and one is hoops. Let us know. First person to comment, yeah, gets the tickets. And yeah, Cooks, thank you very much for your time, mate. Back with Kevin next week, early Tuesday. So yeah, mate, thank you very much and enjoy
Just
your
I'm
weekend.
gonna watch Rocky now.